Donald Trump is now threatening anybody who would make a donation to Nikki Haley, who he refers to as Bird Brain. I'm Ben Meiselas. This is the Midas Touch Network. Let's take a look at what Donald Trump is posting about Nikki Haley and also confessing his crimes in another post. This is someone who is so completely unhinged and deranged, who will keep on alienating independent voters. So, Donald, thank you for showing the world who you are each and every day. Donald Trump posted the following: Nikki Bird Brain Haley is very bad for the Republican Party and indeed our country. Her false statements, derogatory comments, and humiliating public loss is demeaning to true American patriots. Her anger should be aimed at her third-rate political consultants and, more importantly, crooked Joe Biden and those that are destroying our country, not the people who will save it. He puts that in caps. I knew Nikki well. She was average at best, is not the one to take on world leaders. And she never did. I mean, you literally appointed her in a position to do just that. That was up to me. And that is why they respected the United States. I mean, literally everybody was laughing at you. Goes on to say, when I ran for office and won, I noticed that the losing candidate's donors would immediately come to me and want to, quote, help out. This is standard in politics, but no longer with me. Anybody that makes a contribution, and he puts that in quotations, to Bird Brain from this moment forth will be permanently barred from the MAGA camp. We don't want them and will not accept them because we put America first, and he puts this in caps, and always will. What an unhinged madman this is. I mean, he is so triggered by underperforming in New Hampshire and Nikki Haley running a campaign. And again, he doubles down, triples down, whatever you want to call it, quadruples down on MAGA, destroys the Republican Party, that the Republican Party is now all MAGA. Screw the independents, screw anybody who's supporting Nikki Haley. You're either obedient and a member of the MAGA cult, or you are barred, he says. What a ridiculous, ridiculous post. I'm going to show you in a moment what Nikki Haley had to say about Donald Trump's petulant first grade bully, wannabe fascist, cosplay fascist performance, cosplay theater that he did in New Hampshire. Nikki Haley was on point today. She is getting under Donald Trump's skin. Let me just show you this other post. It's essentially just a confession of his crimes. This is what Donald Trump writes. A president of the United States must have full immunity, without which it would be impossible for him/her to properly function. Any mistake, even if well-intended, would be met with almost certain indictment by the opposing party at the term end. Even events that, quote, cross the line must fall under total immunity, or it will be years of trauma trying to determine good from bad. There must be certainty. Example, you can't stop police from doing the job of strong and effective crime prevention because you want to guard against the occasional rogue cop or bad apple. Sometimes you just have to live with, quote, great but slightly imperfect. All presidents must have complete and total presidential immunity, or the authority and decisiveness of a president of the United States will be stripped and gone forever. Hopefully this will be an easy decision for the Supreme Court. So again, comparing yourself to a rogue cop who commits crimes, and I guess in your MAGA mush brain, believing that rogue cops who intentionally kill people get immunity. They don't. I'm not quite sure you understand the doctrine of qualified immunity, and it's actually quite terrifying that that is what you believe rogue cops, or what you said before, pedo priest, which you compared yourself to in a speech, can get away with it. But that's where we are at with the modern day Republican Party, which is full MAGA. Donald Trump comparing himself to a rogue cop and a pedo priest, and extorting and threatening anyone who contributes to Nikki Haley, who he refers to as bird brain, and saying they are going to be barred from the MAGA camp. By the way, Trump's sidekick, Marjorie Taylor Greene, was out there in New Hampshire talking about arresting Nikki Haley's political consultants. Here, play this clip.
This primary is over with. Can you imagine being a donor and lighting your money on fire like that? Donating to Nikki Haley, begging her to stay in the race? I mean, these political consultants, they should go to jail for continuing this campaign. I mean, it is so dishonest, I can't even believe it.
Yeah, that's MAGA for you. And Donald Trump takes Marjorie Taylor Greene and Laura Loomer around with him wherever he goes, just further reminding the country, independents, people who crave normalcy, just who he is. Let me show you this clip right here. This is of Nikki Haley speaking in South Carolina, taking the momentum from New Hampshire to South Carolina and getting under Donald Trump's skin. If nothing else, it's great that she's getting under his skin like this, but here she talks about Donald Trump just whining and acting like a baby and just acting like a loser, and really like this one. This continues to get under her skin. So let me share with you this clip of Nikki Haley. Here, play this clip.
So we got out there and we did our thing and we said what we had to say. And then Donald Trump got out there and just threw a temper tantrum. He pitched a fit. He was insulting. He was doing what he does, but I know that's what he does when he's insecure. I know that's what he does when he is threatened, and he should feel threatened, without a doubt. You know, it's interesting because a few days ago, he was going on and on about me. I mean, for a while. On and on about why I didn't send in security to the Capitol on January 6th. He said it over and over and over and over again. I mean, somebody's got to tell him I wasn't there on January 6th. I've never been at the Capitol working in a job like that, but I think he was a bit confused, and so we'll let that pass. But the thing is, you look at what's happening. And out of everything that he said in his rant, he didn't talk about the American people once. He talked about revenge. He didn't talk about the fact that we've got an economy in shambles and an inflation that's out of control. He didn't talk about the fact that we only have 31% of 8th graders in our country who are proficient in reading. He didn't talk about what we were going to do to get the lawlessness on the border under control. He didn't talk about what we were going to do to bring law and order back to our country. He didn't talk about what he was going to do to help all the wars that we're in and to keep us from going to war. He didn't talk about any of that. And so he'll go on, and, you know, even on that day where he was going on and on about January 6th, you know, we talked about, okay, he was having a moment, he was confused, but it also goes back to why I've continued to push for mental competency tests for anyone over the age of 75.
And by the way, you have Governor Sununu from New Hampshire getting in on the action and just saying, look, Trump's a loser. This is a loser. Here, play the clip.
With Donald Trump at the head of the party, we lose. We lost in 2020. We should have had the red wave in 22. He's a loser. His candidates are losers. I'm tired of losing. He doesn't bring the right brand, if you will, to the table, and he doesn't galvanize the party or the country together.
And just so you know, is what Donald Trump says about the Republican Party today. Here he is saying that 95% of the Republican Party is MAGA, although when you look at all of the exit poll data, it's actually 65% view themselves as not part of a MAGA movement. Here, play this clip.
MAGA is not 48. MAGA is like 95% of the party.
Look, folks, Donald Trump is a very, very weak, very frail individual. He's a loser. He's spent his entire life losing, getting handed things on a silver platter and ruining it, destroying it, and then destroying people's lives and trying to grift off his mark and then move on to the next scam. Bankrupted almost all of his businesses. He bankrupted a casino. The casino always wins. Bankrupted the casinos. Bankrupted all the other ventures he's got involved in. But look, folks, while it's definitely sad, he certainly got a mark, this MAGA movement, but America isn't the MAGA movement. America is so much better than that. We are going to keep talking about the pro-democracy movement, the pro-democracy community, and we are going to continue to welcome progressives, liberals, independents, real conservatives, mainstream Republicans, people who aren't affiliated with any political party. If you care about democracy and normalcy and our Constitution, and you look at disgust at what you see there with Donald Trump, you're welcome in the pro-democracy community. Well, one day in the future, we'll have some tough debates with each other on policy. We'll get there. For now, though, we need to protect, preserve, and defend our democracy, and we will do that together. Thank you for watching. I'm Ben Meiselas from the Midas Touch Network. Hit subscribe. Hit subscribe. We're getting very, very close to that 2 million mark. At least as of this recording, we're not there yet, but we'll get there very soon. Thanks to you. I'm Ben Meiselas. This is the Midas Touch Network. Thank you.
Into the war room to see you, so I had to hack my way onto this frequency.
This better be critical, Hailey.
So, come on, when is it not, please? Okay, couple of things. I'm running low on the dough. I was thinking about taking a couple of months sick leave, maybe starting today. And, oh yeah, I intercepted a transmission from Megatron.
Then send it through.
Yes, sir, right away, sir. And so I was so damn weird going on the other stuff.
This is your last warning, insects. Relinquish what remains of the Allspark.
So who's the insect? You? What? Who's the insect?
Protect you. They were defeated on our world, and we will defeat them here.
The Megatron.
This was just a diversion. Security, please bring up. Rabbit, she's already inside. Deeds! Give me an update on that reserve. Boss readiness. What was his name? What was it?
Evac, sir.
Right, evac.
She's right in front.
We're facing a heavy, sustained attack. They appear to be after the All-Star. General,